Welcome back to History Ignite. I'm Caroline, and if you're new here, this is the podcast where we learn about the history through BillyJoel's song "We Didn't Start a Fire." My brother Andrew and our parents, Amy and Dave, are here too, so say hi, everyone.
Hey, everyone. I can't wait to tell you about today's topic. Oh, yeah, and my best friend, his name is Cole, big shout out to you, told me about the history of this, so at the end, I'll tell you.
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm Dave. We've got a great episode for you today, so let's jump in.
Today, we're talking about something huge, the H-bomb. Even though the H-bomb could stand for huge bomb, it actually stands for hydrogen bomb, which is a type of nuclear bomb that's even more powerful than the atomic bombs used in World War II.
The first hydrogen bomb was tested by the United States in 1952. It was called Ivy Mike, and its explosion was about 500 times more powerful than the bombs dropped on Japan during the war. But how did it all start?
Well, after World War II, the world entered a period called the Cold War. It wasn't a traditional war with battles, but it was a long, tense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both countries wanted to show their power, especially through their nuclear weapons.
Exactly. The atomic bombs used in World War II worked by fission, which means splitting atoms apart. But the H-bomb used fusion, where atoms combine. Fusion creates a much bigger explosion, which is why the H-bomb was so powerful.
Wow, so the H-bomb was even more destructive than the atomic bombs?
Yes, and when they tested the H-bomb, it created a mushroom cloud that went over 25 miles high in the sky. And the island where they tested it, Eniwetok Atoll, was completely destroyed.
That's right. The test took place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The explosion was so strong, it created a crater over a mile wide, and the island was practically vaporized. This test showed just how dangerous these new weapons could be.
After that test, both the United States and the Soviet Union started building more and more of these bombs. People were really afraid that a nuclear war might actually happen, but fortunately, the bombs were never used in combat.
Instead of using them, the United States and Soviet Union began to negotiate arms control agreements, deals to limit how many nuclear weapons they had. These agreements helped keep the peace in the Cold War.
Here's a fun fact. Remember the explosion from the first H-bomb test left a crater in the ocean that was over a mile wide? That's like fitting more than 200 football fields in one hole.
Before we finish, don't forget that we love to give birthday shout-outs. If you want to hear your name on the show, ask an adult to send us your birthday. Then we'll give you a shout-out in an upcoming episode.
So, that's the story of the H-bomb. It was one of the most powerful inventions ever made, but it also taught the world how important it is to work together for peace. Thanks for listening to today's episode of History Ignited.
Okay, time for today's joke. This is from George in Northmont, New York. We love Halloween, so we're getting ready with a Halloween-themed joke. Ready? Why did the skeleton tell a joke?
Why?
Because he had a funny bone. Get it?
Thanks, George. That's great. Thanks for sending it in.
By the way, let us know what you're going to be for Halloween. We'll tell everybody about our costumes and what our listeners are going to dress up as in a few weeks. So text us, post us on Facebook and Instagram, and tag us. We can't wait to hear about what you will be.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you listen to the podcast. See you next time on History Ignited. And Oh yeah, about that ox script I told you about. So basically last year I was eating lunch with my friend Cole, and he told me about the story of it. And there was this Japanese ship called the Lucky Dragon that was a little far from that island that the Ivy Mike was on. And when the H-bomb blew up, the Lucky Dragon was far away, but everyone except for the captain died of radiation sickness / poisoning. So nuclear arms control now is worldwide as well.
All right.
So is that a good reason for everybody to be very careful with both the use and the testing of those weapons?
Yeah, and nuclear arms control worldwide is now if a country uses a nuclear arms, then it's all countries against them because, they're devastating.
Yeah, so maybe that's why we shouldn't have nuclear weapons in the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and for Halloween, I'm going to be a Star Wars character. Okay,
and for Halloween, I am going to be a Descendants character.
Okay, and we're going to talk about those on a future episode. Stay tuned. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, peeps.